Welcome to the Lift Database Administrator Dashboard. So this is the dashboard that you'll see when you first open up the Lift database. I'm going to cover all of the widgets on the dashboard. We'll start with the church tracker. So the church tracker here helps us keep track of all of the churches that might be interested in the Lift database and provides the church name, pastor, coordinator or potential coordinator of the Lift database and their status in regards to whether or not they're a part of the system yet. You can add a new correspondence to this church by clicking on the church name or any part of this contact bar. When this window comes up, you can add correspondence down here, or you can change their status or add new contact information. Here, where it says church website, you can click on this link and add a caption and the URL, the address of that church's website. So what would it look like if I wanted to add a new correspondence? You go here to the plus sign, click on that. This is going to open up a new correspondence window. We can type in the purpose of the correspondence, if I can spell contacted right, contacted. Then we'll put the type of correspondence. You can click on the drop-down window to select one of these options. We'll say phone call. Or you can click on the plus to write in a new option. Then you can click on notes and describe what happened during the phone call. Phone call about Lift database. And when you hit save, the date will automatically be generated for this particular correspondence. You can see what date this correspondence was created at up here, and these will all appear when you open up this church's window. If you want to add a new church into the database, go here where it says Workspace. Click on Workspace, and then where it says Lift, click the drop-down arrow. Then go to All Records. When you click on All Records, it will give you a bar for every church that's currently in the system. Now, the difference between this and the widget on the dashboard is that this All Records bar under Lift will show us all of the churches, but the widget on the main page is only going to show us churches that are any status other than not interested. So here you can see we have one church, a test church that we put in here, that says not interested. This is the reason that they don't show up on the widget. Sorry about that. So if we click on a church and we were to change its status over here to not interested, it would no longer appear on the front page. If for whatever reason the church tracker is deleted, like this, you can get it back by following these steps. First, go up to the plus sign where it says Create a new dashboard widget. Then, click on Search. Then hit Next. Now, scroll down under Lift where it says Church Tracker. Click on that. Then hit Next. Now, we're going to set up what fields we want in the widget. We're going to click on church name and click over, pastor, over, coordinator, over, and status, over. Then click finish. And now we have our church tracker back. I'm going to go ahead and move this up to the top. There we go. So using the data table I showed you and the church tracker widget, we can keep track of which churches are using the Lift database. Next, I'll show you the project records by visit complete. So what this widget does is it's going to show us the name of the church, how many visits they've completed, and how many visits they've yet to complete or have missed. This is useful information to tell us how many visits our database has organized within the past 12 months. This tells us how many visits our database has facilitated over time. The two widgets below that give us a more in-depth look. In order to show you how to make these widgets, we're first going to have to make a new search over in the workspace. So I'm going to first delete the bottom widget, and we'll recreate this widget, and I'll take you through the step-by-step process. So now, I'm going to go over to the workspace. Then, I'm going to go to Create New Search. Now, we're going to select the church that we want to keep track of. So, we already have one for Grace Bible Church visits. So let's say that we just put a new church into the system, and we want to be able to keep track of their visits. So we're going to go up here and say that we've just added Church 2. So I'm going to select Church 2 visits, or whatever church is the newest one in the database that you don't yet have a widget for. Then I'm going to go to Next. Then, under Visits, I'm once again going to go to the name of the church and visits, in this case, Church 2 visits, and hit Next. I'm going to name this search Church 2 Total Visits, or whatever church, Total Visits. And this is what we're going to use at the administrator level to view the information in a pivot table for all of the visits that this church has performed. Now we're going to sort by date. Then we're going to go down to date here. And we're going to say we want to see all visits that this church has performed that they're planning to do within the next week and up until this time last year. So I'm going to go to the Easy Date selector and select Next 7 days. This is going to preload the bottom information. Then I'm going to change this positive here at the top to a negative. And I'm going to change this 0 to 12. And I'm going to change day to month. So what this is going to do is allow us to search all entries into the church visits table for Church 2, going back by 12 months and going forward by 7 days. We could also change this to 0 for a completely up-to-date tracker to determine what visits have been done by Church 2. Then I'm going to hit Next. Now I'm going to click Run the Search, or Finish down here. You can leave that selected or unselected, it doesn't matter. Now we've created the search that shows us all the information that we want to see from this particular table regarding this particular church's work that they've organized on our database. So now that we've done that, we're going to go back to Dashboard, and we're going to set up the widget so that we can see this information more easily and do more with it. So go to Dashboard. Then go up here to create a new dashboard widget and click Search. Then hit Next. Now find the search that we just created in this list. Here we can see there's 2 copies of it. Either of these will work. So we're going to select Church 2 Total Visits and hit Next. Now we're going to determine what information we want to sort by. So we're going to choose Date, Need, Purpose. Actually, no, we're not going to choose Purpose. Don't do that. Recipient, Visit Complete, and Volunteer. Purpose and Notes should be intentionally left behind. Don't select those. Now we can click Finish once we have this information in the Selected Options column. Here, we'll see our widget in grid form. In order to get a better view, we're going to select Pivot Table. Now, we can see all of the information that this church contains regarding the visits that their volunteers have performed, and we can sort this information to get a better view. So let's say that I want to know how many visits this particular church has done within the last month, then I can click on date month would be better over here, and I can drag date month to this column. Now I can sort by month. January and December are the only 2 months that are in the database. Then, let's say that I want to know what kind of needs were taken care of during these months. I can drag down need and get an even better view. Once this widget has been created for all of the churches in our database, or using our database, we can get all of the important information that we might want to report on. So, once again, I'm going to go to recipient and volunteer. And now I can see which volunteer helped out which recipients, how much care did each recipient receive, and how much help did each volunteer put in. So any information that you might want to see, you can now view through this pivot table for each individual church. So in conclusion, on the administrator dashboard, we have our church tracker, a quick and easy way to get into contact with and record correspondence with churches that are using or potentially using our database. The visits complete chart, which gives us quick information that you can easily look at, and is in a very simple form for the entire database overall and how every church has used it. And then these more in-depth pivot table widgets can give you any information that you might be lacking otherwise. This concludes the administrator instructional video.